Let's talk about why Joe Douglas shouldn't go out and trade for an offensive lineman.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be going over why I think Joe Douglas should not go out and trade for an offensive lineman. There's a couple of reasons that I believe this, and I want to talk about it because I'm seeing a lot of news about Conklin and Tunsil and different offensive tackles and maybe an offensive guard and all of these things, and I just don't think we need to do that. But before we hop into that, guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow something here, and I really would appreciate it. So would love it if you could do that. The other thing that would be greatly appreciated is if you left a like on the video. If you like the video, it helps us beat out the YouTube algorithm and get this out to more Jets fans out into the world. But last but not least, guys, if you're not in the comment section, get down there. It is absolutely insane. There is no controlling you guys, and I wouldn't try it. But I do try to respond to every single comment left on any of my videos. So do that. We'd greatly appreciate it. But let's hop into today's video. General Manager Joe Douglas did an incredible job when it came to replacing Brees Hall with James Robinson. Now, obviously, I don't mean replacing, right? But like filling that gap that was left by him. He did it really, really quickly. And essentially, let's call it what it is. It's a 5th-round pick for James Robinson. That's an absolute steal. I mentioned it in a video before, and I think I mentioned it in a live stream where I talked about the fact that I wouldn't trade anything more than a 5th-round pick to go out and get a player, whether that's an offensive lineman, whether that's a defensive lineman, whether that's a running back, whatever it is. I wouldn't want to go higher than a 5th-round pick, and I wouldn't want to do it more than once. And now that we got James Robinson, a lot of people are having the conversation of maybe we should go out and get an offensive tackle. Maybe we should go out and get an offensive guard. Maybe we should go out and get somebody. And I want to talk about the reasons why I think that that's a bad idea. Like, first of all is I don't want to bring in, if we're going to bring in an offensive tackle, I don't want to bring in a short-term solution. And guys like Conklin and Tunsil seem like they're short-term solutions. One, I'm not a fan of Laramie Tunsil. He seems like a bad locker room guy. I have a couple of friends who are Houston Texans fans, and if you probably ask Jake Assman, who's a Jets fan who covers the Houston Texans, he'll probably say the same thing. He held himself out last year because he was injured instead of playing for a bad team. It kind of just seems like he has a bad attitude, and I don't want to put that and inject that under the New York Jets locker room. And Conklin, while he's great and a right tackle, you're not just going to get him for a lowly draft pick. You're going to have to send over a pretty sizable draft pick, and then more importantly, you're going to have to extend him and give him a lot of money. The other thing here is that Joe Douglas is an offensive lineman, like, guru. That's what he's supposed to be, right? He found Nate Herbig, who's playing exceptionally well. He just got, let go from the Philadelphia Eagles. There are options out there at offensive tackle. Ogbehi played relatively well, and we got him off of the street. We have Remmers on the roster. We're going to get Fant and Max Mitchell back. So to compound that whole point, the point, I think, is we might have the solution for what our offensive line woes are in-house with Max Mitchell and George Fant coming back probably after the bye week. Our offensive tackle depth gets fixed, right? Dwayne Brown gets hurt. We have Max Mitchell. We have George Fant. If Ogbehi or Remmers isn't playing well, Max Mitchell steps right back into the right tackle spot and continues his development. George Fant should stay on the bench where he's supposed to be, but if we have an injury, we can call him up. We'll still have Mike Remmers. We'll still have Ogbehi. We'll have depth there. We've got Dan Feeney on the roster. Nate Herbig is playing well. But most importantly, if Joe Douglas is supposed to be this all-incoming great offensive lineman scout that he's shown us that he is, right? Go out and find an offensive lineman on a practice squad and bring him in. It won't cost you anything, and it's a short-term solution. And that's what I want. I want short-term answers because ultimately, I don't want to give up the draft pick that cost us the offensive tackle, the center, the linebacker, the safety in next year's draft just to get a 1-year rental or to get a guy that we're going to have to pay 17, 18, 19, 20 million dollars to. Guys on cheap contracts are what wins you football games in the long term. I think we have the answer in-house, and if not, there are practice squad guys that you can go out and get. Just a couple of names. Alec Lindstrom, I made a video on him. Kellen Deitch, Netane Muti, Marquise Hayes, Yasir Durant, Solomon Kinley. There are guys out there. These are all guys that are on practice squads, by the way, that you can go out and get and help fill out that depth for a short amount of time. Joe Douglas shouldn't trade for an offensive lineman. Guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Who would you trade for and what would you give that up for? Let me know in the comment section. And last but not least, go Jets.